a burst damage dealer and a sub-DPS. Yae Miko excels in using her kitsune spirits to fend off those who dare challenge her. Now, as the title of the video says, is Yae Miko worth it? I can only give my own advice with the amount of information I've looked upon, and see if she's really good. Keep in mind that this is all based on her information within trial stage. I don't have her just yet, but I hope it's still reliable. Now without further ado, let's begin. Yae Miko uses Electro, and as much people experienced, Electro has been the worst element in the game. However, it seems MiHoYo, or HoYoverse globally, have improved not the element, but the character itself. Let's start off with her basic attacks. She summons kitsune spirits that deals electro damage to multiple enemies hit. It can be casted 3 times. When she casts her normal attacks onto clustered enemies, she can hit multiple enemies at once. Her charged attack consumes 50 stamina, wherein if you have the maximum stamina level, which is 240, you can cast it 4 times only. It deals O damage to enemies hit. Not only the stamina costs a whole lot, but this can only hit enemies in a straight line in front of her. You might even miss the enemies when they're moving up and about. Her elemental skill lets her move swiftly, while placing down Setsu Sakura to the position she was initially on. Setsu Sakura damages enemies with lightning strike for a period of time. Roughly 2 to 3 seconds each strike. Each Setsu Sakura placed can increase the level of nearby Setsu Sakura, increasing its damage up to 3 level. Setsu Sakura can only be placed 3 times and once casted when it's maxed, the first Setsu Sakura will be replaced by the current one. Keep in mind that they cannot increase each other's levels if placed further away at each other.
Right here, right now, right here.
Now onto her elemental burst. When casted, she summons a very strong lightning strike, dealing O damage onto enemies hit. Afterwards, Setsu Sakura's placed down are triggered and hits enemies in range with thunderbolt strikes each Setsu Sakura is placed.
Nothing lasts forever. Dear me. Right here. Emerge. Right here. A sight to behold.
A very important passive for her is Enlightened Blessing. Her elemental mastery can increase the damage of her elemental skill. As for her weapons, Kagura's Verity is the best 5-star weapon for her, along with Skyward Atlas and Lost Prayer. For 4-star weapons, Solar Pearl is the best in my opinion, as it increases elemental skill and elemental burst every normal attack hits. Whitsith is also great for either elemental damage bonus or elemental mastery bonus passive plus the crit damage substat. Black Cliff Agate is also great if you can afford waiting starglitters to buy it. Her Cushion Ring is a bit good too with its elemental damage increase, but it's nothing surprising. In artifacts, I would go for that same set, or I could go for 2-piece Noblesse and Thundering Fury. 4-piece Noblesse seems good too in theory, but if you wanna have a firework team comp to deal Overload and or Electro Charge, 2-piece Thundering Fury and 2-piece Wanderer's Troop could be good too. As for main stats, it would be wiser if you put DPS main stats onto her. Putting Elemental Mastery on all main stats could decrease your overall damage output, as how her Elemental Burst would also scale Setsu Sakura Thunderbolt strikes. Moving on to Constellations, at first constellation, she gets 8 elemental energy every Setsu Sakura Thunderbolt strikes from her burst. A total of 24 energy with max stacks per burst. So she gets 24 out of 90 energy back for her burst, which is good, not decent, but it's a good constellation. In second constellation, this is quite decent in my opinion. Level 2 when created, and increases level limit to level 4. A 60% range increase is also very nice, not too much increase, but it's decent overall. In third constellation you get the point. This one can be confusing, but it could mean that any party members near the elemental skill increases their electro damage bonus whenever it hits an opponent with a lightning strike. 20% is alright. You get the point. This last constellation is quite interesting. 60% ignore defense is great, but I don't know if that also scales from Thunderbolt strikes. As I've mentioned earlier on text, Elemental Mastery probably won't scale Thunderbolt strikes as it's part of Elemental Burst, but if it does scale it, then this last constellation could also work on Thunderbolt strikes. But we'll never know if I'm right or not, unless someone tests it. In conclusion, is Yae Miko worth it?
No. Kidding.
Kidding aside, she is a decent burst and sub DPS. Even at Constellation 0, she's already that decent. But with that out of the way, I think what matters most is to pull what you want. If ever you wanna pull for her, good luck to you. I can't give you all my luck because of how unlucky I